Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for a crypto highlight video. And if you're interested in any of the services I provide, please check out the links in the description below for the Patreon and Discord. Okay, so we're going to be looking at VGX, Voyager. This was recommended for me to look at. Looking at the monthly, not that much information here. Obviously, we've been selling off for most of the year until about summertime, where it's just gone into a bit of a sideways action, sideways move, looking like a consolidation. Whether it's bullish or bearish, I don't really have enough information here. We could see that continuation to the downside, but we do need price action to mature more in the monthly before we can actually get a better view on that. Now, I am seeing potentially a higher low here on the monthly, but it's not as clean. So let's go down to the weekly, see if it's a little bit more clean here. Slightly so. So this rising structure is still fairly immature. All right, so if we're gonna actually mark this out here, so from this low here, which is actually its all-time low, to this most recent pivot, you have a slight rise here. So you have a slight rise after a massive drop. So you actually may see a fairly decent slow grind up, but unless this project is going to show any fundamental life, any life in the actual business, this eventually will break bearish and probably go lower. But as of right now, I'm seeing a nice shallow rise. We'll see if we can actually hold this as we potentially come down lower. On the weekly, that's about it. I don't really see much more information here. There's potentially a trend line here on the weekly, but I believe it's already been broken through. Oh no, it's actually coming into being tagged now. So we actually may be coming into a decision point for VGX sooner than I thought. So over the next 3 to 5 weeks, I would say you're gonna have to deal with this descending trend line. So this weekly trend line. Let's make the trend lines black so we know it's off of the weekly time frame. Okay, so these are the weekly trend levels, the trend lines that we want to watch out for. Now let's go down to the daily, see if there's anything else we see. Okay, so price action is fairly bearish in here. It's not super bullish. We have even another smaller rising trend line here on the daily time frame. This is important to actually mark, okay, because this will give us an early indication of us breaking down towards the low end of this larger structure, which now is looking more like a triangle structure, right? So this triangle structure, if it's going to break bearish, we're going to get an early indication of it if this trend line breaks decisively bearish. All right, so if we come back down to this trend line, I got to tell you, it's looking more and more likely that we're going to actually break down. Okay, that will break down through these lows and go to 10 cents and potentially lower. All right, so if you want to see this descending trend line, this weekly descending resistance break decisively, it would definitely be more powerful if it could hold this daily rising trend level. And then if it were to break out through here, which is definitely a possibility, okay, the probabilities aren't on one side or the other heavily yet. It's still not really that clear on who's going to win on this larger weekly structure. But if it does break out something like this, look for a pullback, okay? Because when you break these structures on the weekly, okay, the daily time frame can come back and trade back to it very easily, and then second to last day or the last day of the week have a nice bullish candle, and then on the weekly time frame it just looks like price came back, tested this a little bit, and then closed out strong. So the daily is going to be a lot more volatile compared to the weekly. If you're looking at a weekly level on the daily time frame. All right, so watch to see if we can hold this level, and then watch for that testing of this descending trend line. If we can break this bullish, I'll be very bullish. I'll start targeting the higher levels on the daily and the weekly time levels. Let's go back to the weekly time frame so we can actually see if there's clear targets on the weekly. So weekly time, I see a couple interesting places. It's very wicky, but here we are. So we have a fair value gap right here that has gotten wicked through a couple times. We also have a higher fair value gap right here. And then we have a very small one right here as well. And then we have one more larger one right here. So we have a lot of this imbalance on the weekly time frame that has liquidity left over. So if we're going to break this triangle, this triangle bullish, we have some levels on the weekly to look out for. Okay. And now on the daily, shorter term, I mean, we have this imbalance here, though we did wick through most of this down move. So a lot of liquidity that was sitting there, most of that probably got filled. But if we were to hold this trend line and continue higher on the daily time frames, we have a couple targets. I would say maybe one right here. Yeah. So one right here. That's just under that weekly, the first weekly bearish fair value gap right here. So I would look for that level here. And then you have one right here, but it has been wicked through a couple times as well. So these are the lower target levels you can potentially look out for. So what you can see if price does break bullish on the dailies, price break through, come to this level or even this level, and then fail back down and come to test the ascending trend line and potentially even this descending trend line as support, and then try and continue that higher low trend that it keeps doing. Okay, so just doing another higher low, so continuing the short-term uptrend. All right, so that's what I'm looking at right now. And if it should break down, now it should break down, what are we looking for? Well, there's really not much data, well, no data really to the left to tell us what levels to look for if we were to come down. Well, when that happens, you have to do a couple of things. So you can start using measured moves. So you can go from the swing high to the swing low and just measure that out and see where price will get to. One of the easier ways is just using Fibonacci. Okay, so you can use a Fibonacci retrace, or you can use a trending Fibonacci. So if price is trending down to the downside, you want to use a trend fib extension. And if you're just looking for a retracement level, you can just use retracement. Either way, it's going to give you relatively around the same areas that you want to look out for price to get to. So in this case, if price is going to come further down, let's see here. Let's go from here to here. So this swing high, so this swing low to this swing high. So we're pulling in reverse. Okay, we're pulling in reverse. You're looking at these levels down here. So you're going to look for about a penny to 5 cents, and then if you start losing a penny, that's when you're going to go into those, the 0.009, 008, that sort of thing. All right, so this is actually very important now for this coin to hold this level, hold this structure bullish. It's really the ascending black line, so the ascending weekly level needs to be held. If it doesn't, then you are looking for sub a penny. It's very, very likely you're going to sub a penny. And how low? I'm not too sure. Not too sure. It's really no point measuring out from there. But it's very, very likely you'll go to sub a penny if you start breaking that weekly structure bearish. All right. So be careful if you're in Voyager, and keep in mind that if you break bullish, you have your shorter term levels on the daily, and then you have longer term weekly targets to start eyeing. But this is definitely possible to break bearish. There's not a super high probability this holds or breaks. It's more 50-50. It's very similar to a symmetrical triangle structure. Let the chart tell you what's going to happen. Don't try and predict it. Wherever direction it breaks, make your decision, whatever it's going to be from there. Okay, not financial advice, just my opinion. If you want to look to long it or buy at spot, you may want to wait for a breakout just to be on the safe side. And if you're looking to get out of a trade or something, you may want to use this as your initiator to do that. All right, everyone, that is it for VGX. If you agree with me, leave a comment. If you disagree with me, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your opinion. And if you like my content, please check out my Discord. You'll get more of my content there, as well as give me a like, a share if you would like, and also a subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section or in the Discord. All right, everyone, remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.